So one of the things that I found out about you when doing research for this conversation is that your mom forced you to start writing when you were
Yes.
12 or 13, and how much of a critical role that played. Why? So you're building these design skills, and then you're also building these writing skills. Why was writing such a important facet from your mom's perspective to
Yeah,
start?
well, so my mom homeschooled my siblings and I. She has a degree in English and literature, and she just always thought that reading, literature, and especially writing are just really important to education. It's kind of interesting now, like you have a lot of great business thinkers, bloggers, people writing like take like Jason Fried. Jason talks about clear writing being one of the most important business skills that you can have. And so he and my mom would get along really well because she was saying like, being an effective writer is so important. And I would always tell her like, why am I spending this time writing these essays, book reports, any of these things? I'm never going to be a writer. Like I'm going to be a landscaper. I'm going to be, later on, I'm going to be a web designer. Like I want to be anything except a writer. And she just said like, well, writing is important for a lot of jobs and like, do your school. And I ended up being really, really grateful for that because she was absolutely right. Writing is critical. And now even when hiring for people to join ConvertKit, our software company, um, we look for people who are clear writers because as Jason Fried talks about, if you're a clear writer, you're probably a clear thinker. And that's what we need. And so much communication is written now. And then also writing is the single biggest skill and asset you can have for building an audience, which is one of the most remarkable ways to earn a living. So my mom in 2000 to 2002 or so, when she was forcing me to write, she was spot on.
At what point did you realize, oh shoot, mom's right?
It probably wasn't until I was 18 or 19, maybe even like that's the point where I got into blogs to the point where I was thinking, oh, maybe I would start a blog. Um, and so it might have even been later than that. But a lot of early bloggers that I followed, people like Chris Guillebeau, Tim Ferriss, Marie Forleo. I'm trying to think who else would be in that list. A guy named Brett McKay, who wrote The Art of Manliness, a bunch of blogs from that time period. Um, I was watching them earn quite a bit of money. Like a blog went from this thing that you kind of did on the side, and hey, maybe it makes some money in AdSense dollars or whatever, to like watching Chris Guillebeau in particular. He published this ebook. He always has the best names for his ebooks. One of them is titled A Brief Guide to World Domination. That was the first one that he put out. And then the second one was 279 Days to Overnight Success. And I've just always loved that title because it sums up the overnight success side so well. But in that, he detailed basically his path from starting a blog to it being able to pay for his world travels. And for him, that was $60,000 a year, so $5,000 a month. And he was making that money mostly from ebooks, guides, like it was all from writing. And so that's when the pieces started coming together. I'm like, oh, okay, design, code, those are important skills, but writing is just as important as far as making money and earning a living. So then over the next couple of years, I like dipped my toes into starting a blog more and building an audience, and it took time, but yeah, that it was really seeing like Chris Guillebeau talk about his business and how core writing was to it that I realized like, oh, thanks, mom.